The world's most expensive unfinished buildings. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into some of the most expensive buildings that were left unfinished. We're talking millions, even billions of dollars poured into these projects only for them to be left abandoned, incomplete. You won't believe the stories behind these architectural marvels. From political turmoil to economic downturns, we're uncovering the reasons why these ambitious projects never saw the light of day. So buckle up, smash that like button, and get ready to be amazed by the world's costliest unfinished buildings. The Ryugyong Hotel, North Korea's ghost tower. First up, we're heading over to North Korea, one of the most secretive countries in the world, to check out the Ryugyong Hotel. This thing is massive, a whopping 105 stories tall, and it's shaped like a pyramid, piercing the skyline of Pyongyang. Construction on this monster started way back in 1987. The North Korean government, they wanted to create this super luxurious hotel, a symbol of their power and wealth. They even claimed it would be the tallest hotel in the world at the time. They brought in all these foreign investors, poured a ton of money into it, but then, boom. The Soviet Union, their main economic backer, collapsed in the early 90s. Talk about bad timing. Without the Soviets' cash, construction on the Ryugyong Hotel came to a screeching halt. For years it just sat there, this empty concrete shell, a pretty big eyesore to be honest. People started calling it the Hotel of Doom. Can you imagine pouring billions of dollars into a building only to have it become a global laughingstock? Now the North Korean government, they're super secretive about the whole thing. No one knows for sure how much money they wasted on this abandoned project. Some estimates say it could be as high as 2% of their entire GDP. That's insane. For years the Ryugyong Hotel remained completely empty, a giant concrete reminder of the country's economic struggles. But get this, in 2008 there was a glimmer of hope. An Egyptian company, Orascom Group, they stepped in and said, "Hey, we'll help you finish this thing." They covered the exterior in glass, modernized some of the interior. It was like a makeover montage in a movie. But hold on, even with all that work, the Ryugyong Hotel is still not open to the public. It remains this mysterious, unfinished symbol of North Korea's ambition and isolation. Sagrada Familia, a centuries-long masterpiece. Alright, for our next stop, we're traveling over to Barcelona, Spain to visit the Sagrada Familia, a church that's been under construction for over a century. This isn't your typical abandoned building, it's actually a UNESCO World Heritage Site and a major tourist attraction. The Sagrada Familia was the dream of this visionary architect, Antoni Gaudi. He dedicated his life to this project, starting in 1882. Gaudi, he wasn't just building a church, he was creating a masterpiece of nature, faith, and architecture. The level of detail in his designs is mind-blowing. We're talking these incredible soaring towers that look like they're melting wax, intricate facades covered in sculptures that tell stories from the Bible. Gaudi, he was way ahead of his time, using innovative building techniques and materials. But here's the catch. Gaudi knew this project was going to take a long time to complete. He even said, "My client is not in a hurry." He understood that creating something this extraordinary would take generations. Unfortunately, tragedy struck in 1926 when Gaudi died in a tragic accident. He was only 73 years old. He left behind these incredibly detailed plans, but no one could really decipher his genius. Construction on the Sagrada Familia continued, but it was slow going. Then, the Spanish Civil War hit in the 1930s, and everything came to a grinding halt. Gaudi's workshop was even destroyed, and some of his precious models and plans were lost forever. Despite all the setbacks, work on the Sagrada Familia never completely stopped. Donations from people all over the world, they kept trickling in, and architects, they kept trying to piece together Gaudi's vision. Now here we are in the 21st century, and the Sagrada Familia is still under construction. They're using modern technology, like 3D modeling, to help them stay true to Gaudi's original designs. The craziest part? They don't expect to finish this thing until 2026, which will mark the 100th anniversary of Gaudi's death. In Chapter 3. The new South China Mall, a shopper's ghost town. Get ready to explore the largest mall you've ever seen, or haven't seen. This is the new South China Mall in Dongguan, China. This place is absolutely massive, spanning over 7 million square feet. To put that in perspective, that's like 100 football fields. Now you might be thinking, a mall that big? It must be packed with people. Nope. This place is practically a ghost town. You see, the new South China Mall was built with this idea that China's booming economy would bring in tons of shoppers. They built it, but they didn't come. Construction finished in 2005, and for a while things were looking good. Shops started opening and people were curious to see this mega mall. But there was one major problem. Location, location, location. The new South China Mall is located in Dongguan, which, while it's a manufacturing hub, it's not exactly known for its shopping scene. It's pretty far from the city center, and most people just didn't want to make the trek out there. As the months went by, more and more shops started closing their doors. The mall became eerily quiet. Can you imagine walking through this massive, sprawling complex with hardly a soul in sight? It's kind of creepy, like something out of a post-apocalyptic movie. Now the new South China Mall stands as a symbol of over-ambitious development and the risks of building something before there's actually a demand for it. But hold on, there's a twist. In recent years, the mall has seen a bit of a resurgence. They've been trying to attract new tenants like furniture stores and restaurants. They've even added amusement park rides and things to make it more of an entertainment destination. Will it ever become the bustling shopping paradise its developers envisioned? Only time will tell. Chapter 4. The Tower of David, Venezuela's vertical slum. We're headed to Caracas, Venezuela, to check out the Tower of David, a 45-story skyscraper that's become a symbol of the country's complex economic and social challenges. This building has a really interesting and kind of sad history. It was originally started in 1990 by a wealthy Venezuelan banker, David Brillenberg. The goal? To create this luxurious office complex, a symbol of Venezuela's prosperity. It was going to have everything, helipads, a rooftop swimming pool, you name it. But then, tragedy struck. In 1993, David Brillenberg passed away, and then, the Venezuelan economy took a nosedive. Construction on the tower came to a screeching halt in 1994. For years, the Tower of David stood unfinished and abandoned in the heart of Caracas. But here's where the story gets really interesting. In the early 2000s, people started moving into the unfinished tower. We're not talking a couple of squatters, we're talking thousands of people desperate for housing in a city facing a severe housing shortage. They turned this abandoned skyscraper into a vertical slum, building their own apartments, shops, even churches inside the unfinished shell. The Tower of David became this self-governing community, with its own rules, its own economy. It was a testament to human resilience but also a stark reminder of the inequalities in Venezuelan society. Now, the government, they were aware of what was happening in the Tower of David. For a long time they kind of turned a blind eye to it. But in 2014, they started relocating residents to government housing projects. The Tower of David, it's mostly empty now, but it remains this powerful symbol of the challenges facing Venezuela. It's a story about economic collapse, social inequality, and the incredible resourcefulness of people trying to make a life for themselves in the face of adversity. Chapter 5. The Chicago Spire. A twisting tower's uncertain future. Hold on tight because we're heading to the Windy City, Chicago to learn about the Chicago Spire, a skyscraper that was supposed to twist its way into the record books. This thing was designed by the world-renowned architect, Santiago Calatrava, and let me tell you, it was ambitious. Picture this, a spiraling tower, 2,000 feet tall, with over 150 floors of luxury condos, a hotel, and breathtaking views of the city. It was going to be the tallest building in the Western Hemisphere. Construction began in 2007, and excitement for the project was through the roof. People were already picturing themselves living the high life in this architectural marvel. But then, the 2008 financial crisis hit, and it hit hard. The developers of the Chicago Spire, they ran into major financial trouble. Funding dried up, and construction came to a grinding halt. All that was left was this giant hole in the ground, a constant reminder of what could have been. For years, the site of the Chicago Spire remained vacant, this empty lot in the heart of the city. But the story doesn't end there. There have been several attempts to revive the project, with new developers coming in, proposing new designs, new visions. But so far none of these plans have gotten off the ground. The Chicago Spire, it remains this symbol of unfulfilled potential, a reminder of the ups and downs of the real estate market and the challenges of building big in a constantly changing world. Will we ever see this twisting tower grace the Chicago skyline? Only time will tell. But one thing's for sure. The story of the Chicago Spire is a reminder that even the most ambitious dreams can be put on hold. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe for more amazing content. Let us know in the comments which unfinished building surprised you the most. Were you blown away by the sheer scale of the Ryugyong Hotel, or maybe the intricate details of the Sagrada Familia? These buildings may be unfinished, but their stories are far from over. Until next time, keep exploring the world's hidden wonders.